Hey guys! We are back for chapter 12 of Finding Langston. The last chapter was good and bad. I mean, Dad and Langston had a really great talk, which we've been waiting for half the book. And Dad walked Langston to school, and now Lyman wasn't in class. Lyman's the bully. Lyman was not in class, and Langston thinks that his dad got Lyman in trouble. So we'll see what happens. All right, chapter 12. First thing I do when I get to the library is walk row by row, seeing what books make me stop. Some of the titles I can't help but pull off the shelves. I try to take out as many as I can each time. It means my satchel is heavier than a bag of rocks, but I keep them there out of sight. It's better to read in the library. Sitting at my favorite table by the window, reading and listening to the sound of other folk turning pages make me feel like I'm in a house full of company I don't have to talk to. Miss Cook sometimes puts aside books she thinks I'll like, especially the ones by Langston Hughes. Every time she hands me one of his, she says, "Here's another from your namesake." I know there ain't no chance Mama named me for a poet who wrote pretty words, but it feels good to hear her say it. This is the book he's reading. Red Clay Blues. I want to tramp in the red mud, Lord, and feel the red clay around my toes. I want to wade in that red mud, feel that red clay sucking at my toes. I want my little farm back, and I don't care where the landlord goes. In Langston Hughes' words, I can smell that earthy clay in the front yard, can hear the voice of my mama. I make my way over to Miss Cook's desk. "Excuse me, ma'am." She looks up. "Is Mr. Langston Hughes from Alabama?" "Good question. Let's see if we can find out." She gets up and walks me back to the nonfiction section. She pulls one book off the shelf and hands it to me. "This is a biography by the author, so it's a good place to start." "Biography?" I ask. "Like a story about his life?" "I learned that in school." "Yes, exactly," she smiles. "You may just find you have a lot in common with your namesake." "I'll check this one out," I tell her. I can see Daddy on the stoop as I get close to the apartment. He's looking for me, so I pick up my pace. "Where you been?" Daddy yells, not even waiting for me to walk up the steps. He don't wait for an answer. "Something happened and I got to go." Where we going?" I ask, scared. "Not we, me. You're gonna stay here." In the apartment, Daddy's suitcase is sitting on the bed, piled with clothes, and his black suit and tie on top. "Where are you going?" I don't know when I've been more scared. Daddy sits on the bed. "Son," he starts, "your grandma took a turn. Your Aunt Lena called at my job. She passed this morning." "Grandma?" Feels like I can't breathe. I'm gonna come with." "Can't, Langston. Barely got enough for one fare, let alone two. My boss said I could take a week and settle my affairs, then I'll be back." "But Daddy, how am I gonna—" "Now I talked to Pearl, Miss Fulton, and she's gonna look in on you every day, gonna make your meals and such, and see you off to school while I'm gone." I can't imagine this day getting worse, but it just did. The last morning I saw Mama alive, Grandma sent me off to school. You're not doing anybody any good sitting around with that long face," she told me. "I'll look after your mama. She'd want you in school." Grandma said she fixed me a plate of fried eggs, but after school, just before I got to the house, I could see Pastor Lawson coming down the front steps, and I could see Daddy's big arm around Grandma's shoulders and Grandpa wiping her eyes with a handkerchief. I ran as hard as I could. Time I got to the porch, I was out of breath and knew why the pastor was there. "She's gone?" I screamed, running into the house. Mama was laid out on the bed. Grandma had brushed out her hair, put her in a clean gown. And now Grandma. She'll never get a chance to see Chicago. I sit down to keep my head from spinning. Daddy jumps up and snaps his suitcase shut. "Gotta leave now if I'm gonna make the train." I wrap my arms around Daddy's waist, my head in his chest. His shirt still has the sour smell from the paper plant. Probably ain't done this since I was little, but I don't care. Don't want Daddy to go and leave me alone in Chicago. Feels like I'm losing everyone. "Can't I go too?" I sound like a baby, but I don't care. Already explained it, Langston. I'll be back in 1 week. He pulls free and heads for the door. As I hear him go down the stairs, I sprawl on my bed. No tears, no fussing, just my head filling with pictures of Grandma. There's a knock on the door, and I don't need to guess who it is. I take my time getting up. I open the door, and Miss Fulton steps in without being invited. "I'm so sorry about your grandmother, Langston," she says. She takes a look around the apartment. "So I guess your daddy told me I'll be checking in on you?" "Yes, ma'am." Supper should be ready soon. You must have homework to do. You can get started on that, and I'll knock when it's time to eat. Would you be more comfortable sitting with me across the hall? Miss Fulton looks nervous. No, ma'am. I'll stay here and do my homework. Okay, then. Over supper, I can see Miss Fulton is trying, and I know I should be trying back, but between my daddy being gone and my grandma passing on, I can't make myself. How was school today? Miss Fulton asks. Fine, I say. I'll say one thing for Miss Fulton. She can put together some dinner. I ain't had a meal this good since I left home. Pork chops smothered in gravy, green beans floating in butter, cornbread hot and fluffy. I'm about to burst, but I can't stop eating. You were hungry, she says as I scoop more gravy onto my plate to dip the rest of my cornbread. Yes, ma'am. I don't look up again until the cornbread is gone and my plate is clean. Wow. That is the end of chapter 12. That was very heavy. So we got to learn a little bit more about the day that Langston's mom died, and we also learned that his grandmother died, which is so sad because he was so excited for them to come to Chicago. So that was a rough one. Hopefully we go up from here. Bye guys, have a good day.